going from unit form to standard form, and going from multiplication to division. So if I look at this problem, 1.5 divided by 3, I can think of it as 3 times something equals 1.5. Okay? Now this is going to help me over here. 3 groups of blank tenths is, and I want to change this to 15 tenths. I think it sounds better. So let me read it again. 3 groups of blank tenths is 15 tenths. So 3 groups of what? 5 tenths, correct? So my answer to the problem is 0.5. Okay, and do you remember I talked to you about how not everyone might know these facts in their head because we don't all learn math at the same time? Okay, so this multiplication strategy is going to help you. So let's look at the next one. 6 groups of blank hundredths is 24 hundredths. Please rewrite that. So 6 times what equals 24? 4. So it's going to be 4 hundredths. So when I write my answer, how do I write 4 hundredths?
0.04.
Good. Okay. So that's going to be the first part of your exit ticket, but you won't do that until tomorrow. The next one, 5 groups of blank thousandths is, we're rewriting this, 45 thousandths. So 5 times what equals 45?
9.
What?
9.
Can't answer before I'm done asking, or I won't be able to hear you. Okay, so how do I write 9 thousandths, Alan? Good. 0.009. All right, now this is the next part that is really fun, I think. So we're actually practicing a mental math strategy right here. We could think of this as $9.36, and let's say I had that much money and I wanted to share it with 2 of my friends, okay? And I could quickly, without doing this, because I don't really want to do that, okay, unless I have to. Long division, there's a time and a place for it. But I want to do this in my head. So I'm going to use the distributive property and decompose. Now, a while back, I showed you how we could get rid of a place value and just slide digits over. You don't have to write this, but just watch. So I took 9 and 36 hundredths, and I'm writing it in unit form, okay? So it's 9 ones, 3 tenths, 6 hundredths. Don't work ahead of me today because I'm teaching you a strategy, okay? Now, I want the numbers to be divisible by 3. Are you with me? So I don't want to change, I don't want to take out the ones and make this 93 tenths because I don't know the answer to that, okay? So I'm going to, instead I'm going to take out the tenths and slide the 3 over. Now there's no way really for me to get the 3 to slide over without messing up. So this is what I'm decomposing it as. 9 ones and 36 hundredths. And you can just write an H for hundredths. Ryder, can you see the board? Well, then we're going to have to move you. Can you see the big numbers I write? Okay. We'll have to probably, I don't want to mess up Caitlin's routine she's got going on with the whiteboard here, but we might have to move that table forward. We could also, Ryder, you can also get a clipboard and move up at any time and sit in one of these gray chairs. Okay? All right, so now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make 2 division problems. And it's going to be 2 division problems added together. So make sure your parentheses take up that whole line I gave you. Are you with me? Did you write this? Okay, so I'm going to do 9 divided by 3 and 36 divided by 3. What's 9 divided by 3?
3.
And what's 36 divided by 3? Don't write anything yet.
12.
12. You know your 12s? I'm impressed. Okay, so I'm going to write 9 ones divided by 3 and 36 hundredths divided by 3. So you said 9 divided by 3 was 3?
Yes.
Notice I had to put ones beside it. We've got to keep our place values straight. 36 divided by 3 was?
12.
Okay. And I've got 3 ones and 12 hundredths. And notice I wrote my answer in standard form. Now, I said this was a mental math strategy, correct? It's something you can do in your head, but in order to learn the mental math strategy, we're writing it out. Everyone understand? Nobody taught me the distributive property, or if they did, I wasn't paying attention. Because it's brilliant, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and keep writing these out. You just watch me, okay? So I've got 3 tens, 6 ones, 0 tenths. And this is the only time you're going to see me write the 0 tenths there, or 0 anything. 100th and 2 thousandths. Can't see the rest of that, but it's there, okay? All right, now I'm dividing by 3 again, okay? So I could do 3 divided by 3, but can I combine anything here? Yeah, what can I combine?
3 and 6.
Yeah, I can make it 36 ones, can't I?
Yes.
Okay, and then what can I combine? I don't need this, do I?
Well,
The 1 and the 2?
yeah.
Okay.
12,000.
So it'll be 12 thousandths. So what's 36 divided by 3? We just did it. Isaac told us. 12. What's 12 divided by 3?
36.
No, divided by
Oh.
4. Okay, that's what we put in the parentheses. We're making 2 division problems. What are we dividing by? The divisor did not change, did it? Nope. So we've got 36 ones and 12 thousandths. Okay, so what was 36 divided by 3 again?
12.
What's my place value?
1.
Ones. You know what I forgot? To actually break it apart. I'm just writing a TH for thousandths.
$400.
12 thousandths divided by 3 would be 4 what?
100.
No? Thousandths. Good. That's okay. It's a Monday. So to write 12 ones and 4 thousandths, who knows how to do that? Morgan? You got it. What do you think of this mental math strategy? I love it. Wish somebody would have taught it to me when I was your age. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and decompose this. This time, our divisor is 5. Okay? So we're looking for numbers that end with a 5 or a 0 to be divisible by 5. So let me go ahead and write it out. Tomorrow we won't have to write it out. 5 tenths. I know. We're gonna let you give it a try, and we'll see.
Is it just random?
No, it can't be random numbers. You've got to pull them out of here. So that's why I write this out for you. Everybody look. I'm going to get rid of a place value and do some combining. Can I do 3 divided by 5?
No.
It's not going to be even, is it? So I'm going to have to get rid of which place value then? The ones.
It would be close to the 5 tenths.
So it's going to be 35 tenths. So over here, when I decompose, it's going to be 35 tenths, just write a T for tenths, plus 5 hundredths. And I'm not changing the value of anything. I'm just moving it. Okay, so 2 division problems. So the first one, 35 tenths divided by, what's my divisor this time? 5, okay? And the next one? 5 hundredths.
Those are 5 times 5.
Okay, so we're going to think about 35 divided by 5. We're going to think 5 times something equals 35. What is it?
7.
So if it's 35 tenths, my answer has to be
7 times.
7 tenths. Very good. Five hundredths divided by 5. 1 what? Hundred. Okay, I have no idea why I made that line so long. In a perfect world, I wouldn't have messed up. But it looks like today I messed up. So we're going to go ahead and write it in standard form, even though you have a long line. Okay? So 7 tenths and 1 hundredth. Who knows how to write that in standard form? Lillian.
0.7.
You got it. Okay, now I know you feel like you're ready to do this on your own, but you're going to do that tomorrow on your problem set. Okay? So let's go ahead and do one more together, and then we'll turn it over. So this is 3 ones. Tell me what to write.
3 ones, 5 tenths, 400. Wait, what's 5,000?
I can remember.
5,000.
Okay. So I still have a divisor of 5. I know 3 is not going to work because 5 won't divide evenly into 3. So what should I combine? Raise your hand if you know. Caitlin.
3 ones and 5 tenths.
Okay, so I'm going to change this to 35 tenths. We just did that. We're up. And let's see, what could I combine? Get rid of the hundredths? Okay. So I'm moving the 4 over beside the thousandths. Okay, so how am I decomposing this again? 35 tenths plus 45 thousandths. And is that the same thing as 3 and 545 thousandths?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I just moved digits across. I didn't change the value of anything. Okay, so now we're ready for our 2 division problems. And what's my divisor this time? 5. And there's no reason to copy off the board because don't you have this written right here? 35 tenths plus 45 thousandths. So there's no reason to copy off the board. So 35 divided by 5. We just did that, didn't we? What was it? So if I'm talking about 35 tenths, what's my answer? 7 tenths plus 45 divided by 9. Who knows that? 9. So 45 thousandths, my answer would be 9 thousandths. So to write 7 tenths and 9 thousandths, raise your hand if you know how to do that. Isaac?
0.709.
You got it. Okay. Most of you were here for the whole lesson, right? So how do you feel about it? All right, let's take a look at this one. Now, all this is we're going to look at a basic division fact, 21 divided by 7. Write the answer and then see how the answer is going to change when I have a decimal. Okay? So what is 21 divided by 7?
3.
Okay. Now this is 2.1 divided by 7. You know what makes it easiest, don't you? Change it to unit form. So instead of 2.1, what is it? 21 tenths. 21 tenths divided by 7 would be what? 3 tenths. Now we have a few tricks, don't we? We can underline in the problem and underline in the answer. We can change it to unit form. Okay? But there is a little rule that we came up with last week, and it works for multiplication and division. Block 1 didn't remember this rule. But if I divide by a decimal, I divide a decimal by a whole number, what's going to happen with my place value? It's going to stay the same. So let's write that rule down to explain ourselves. When you divide a decimal by a whole number, the place value does not change. I forgot value. There. Place value does not change.
I put never change. That does not change.
That's fine. Whatever makes sense.
I think I know.
So can we apply the same rule to the next one?
Yeah.
We can. We can look at the basic fact and then just look at the place value of the first number. It's called the dividend. We'll talk about it in lesson 14 when we do our long division lesson. Okay? So 48 divided by 8, 8 times something equals 48. 6. And that would be 6 ones, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So now I've got 6 what, Oziel?
6,000.
Okay, and how am I going to write 6 thousandths? Class?
0.006.
Very good. Okay. Let's keep going. This is kind of fun. It's kind of like a true or false. It says, are the quotients below reasonable? Now, what did we just talk about? If I divide a decimal by a whole number, my place value does not change, okay? Apply that rule here. 54 hundredths divided by 6 equals 9 ones. It's not reasonable, is it? Okay, so our answer is not reasonable. Can you write no underneath it? Do you have room?
Yes.
Okay, because yours looks a little different than mine, doesn't it? No, because what? The answer should be, well, let's write it in unit form. The answer should be 9 what? 9 hundredths. Okay, what about B? Is that answer reasonable?
Yes.
How do you know? Ryder, is this answer reasonable? How do we know it's reasonable?
Because it has the decimal.
In the correct place, doesn't it? Yeah. Tenths and tenths. So let's just write a yes there. The place values match. I'm trying to keep these as short as possible. Okay, did you write that? You're fast. All right, look at C. Am I rushing you? Okay. So look at C.
No.
No, it's not reasonable. The answer should be what?
9.
9 what?
1.
9 ones. Did you write that? Oh my goodness. Not standing here waiting on you guys to finish writing. That's great. Okay, so mine is on the next page. I just actually moved them to the bottom of your page. So your page is looking different than mine. And if you are a remote student, you might not even have the right page. So you could just write this on a blank piece of paper. Okay, so the next problem says a toy airplane costs $4.84. It costs four times as much as a toy car. What is the cost of the toy car? Now we can use mental math. Okay, so make that line long. How am I going to break this apart? I could do 4 and 84. I could do 4 ones and 84 hundredths, but I don't know the answer to 84 divided by 4. So what might be a better choice here?
48 tenths and 400.
You got it. Okay, so I've got, did we have 3 lines before? Yes, we did. So I've got to put my 2 division problems on this first line. Looks like I didn't make it quite long enough. So how am I decomposing this? 48 tenths divided by what?
4.
And 4 hundredths divided by 4. And you don't need to copy the board, because if you wrote down right here how to decompose the problem, you can copy from that. So stop looking up at the board. You know what you're doing by now. Okay, so this one, 48 divided by 4. Who knows that? Besides Isaac. Hint. Fernanda? 12. So 12, what? Tenths. Well, since you know you're 12, so I'm guessing you knew the answer. Okay, and 4 divided by 4?
100.
1, but we have to keep our place value. Good job. So we've got 12 tenths and 1 hundredth. Who thinks they know how to write that? Think about it carefully. Jesus?
1.2. 1.
You got it. Excellent. Okay, let's look at the next one. Let's take a look at problem 6. Julian bought 3.9 liters of cranberry juice and Jay bought 8.74 liters of apple juice. They mixed the 2 juices together and then poured them equally into 2 bottles. How many liters of juice are in each bottle? So we've got a couple things we have to do here. Number 1, we have to mix the 2 juices together. So when they mix them together, do you think that was addition or subtraction, multiplication or division? Okay, so we're going to add. So altogether we have 12.64 liters of juice. And we're going to divide that into 2. So we could decompose this just like we have been doing, but we're going to have to do it into 3 different numbers. So it's going to be 12 ones, 6 tenths, and 4 hundredths. And the reason I chose 3 numbers is because I don't know the answer in my head to 64 divided by 2. I can figure it out pretty quickly, but let's try it this way. So here's what we have. And I hope I'm going to have enough room to write all this. We'll see. So I'm going to do 12.64 divided by 2 equals. So it's going to be 12 ones divided by 2 plus 6 tenths divided by 2 plus 4 hundredths divided by 2. So that gives me 12 divided by 2 is 6 ones plus 6 divided by 2 is 3 tenths plus 4 divided by 2 is 2 hundredths. So now to write that all down, we have 6 ones, 3 tenths, 2 hundredths, and the label is liters of juice in each bottle. Okay, very good.